Hey, good morning to you, Seth. It is what, 8, 9 a.m.? Actually, no, a bit later on, right?
Yeah, it's about 10.
10. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, I had you on a while ago, over 100 episodes ago. So, wanted to do a follow up to see how things have progressed. So, Seth, let's start off on a smaller scale. How has your day been? Or your morning?
My day's been busy, man. I woke up, went to the gym, kind of killed it, and then started answering emails, looked at the market a little bit, did some analyzation, ready for my watch list, and now we're here. Got 9 other tasks on my task list so far, so getting
Damn,
ready
very
for the
nice.
day.
And already 10 a.m. So, you're still doing trading from what you've just said?
hmm
Okay,
Yep.
how's that been going?
So lately, I've been doing a lot of stuff in my security realm, so the trading has kind of not been as much. But I still like to know where the market is, how the economy is doing, and all that stuff. So I also do a very in-depth analysis on either a Saturday or a Sunday, and then I'll kind of set up what trades I want to see throughout the week, and then I'll go through and I'll set up alerts on those certain stocks, and then I'll go through, and that's basically it. I can focus on other tasks, and I've gotten to the point where I can look at a chart, basically set my alerts. And then when that alert hits, I go real quick, look in a couple 30 seconds or so. And then if I like it, I'll take the trade. If not, I won't.
Hmm. Okay, very cool. So, would it be too broad to ask you how has your life changed since our last interview?
We can go into a lot of detail about how much it
Yes,
has changed.
please do.
Yeah. So, like, obviously, I was made an apprentice in Stocks Campus. And then I had an interview with Sartorial Shooter as well as a couple others. And then I was introduced into the personal speaking brand. And I was taught personally by Luke on how to speak to camera better and how to talk to people, how to be influential and all this other stuff, which was a load and wealth of knowledge that I listened to almost every single day. And then I went through and went to a UGC campus or user generated content campus where we're actually being taught by a very wealthy individual how he did it and basically how to speak to camera and how to do all these things. And then as well, get paid for it. So basically, go to companies, go to outreach in companies, and we make ads for them, make video ads for them on how to speak to camera and how to edit it and how to talk about the product in order to sell more of their product and make them more revenue. Which is, I'm currently going through that now, and I was also made an apprentice in that campus. And it is just a wealth of knowledge that is ever changing in this world, and you got to keep up with the times in order to be successful.
Right. So, a lot to dive into there. I
Yeah.
think let's begin with the UGC campus.
Okay.
When did you get approached to become a captain for it?
2 days ago.
Huh. I thought maybe before the campus opened because it's a very new campus.
Nope.
Huh. Okay. Okay. So what was the process there? Why did they approach you? Just because of the good work you were doing, or
Yeah.
some
So
reason?
I was approached by the Pope, who is the professor within the UGC campus. We call him the UGC sheriff, and he basically said that he liked my work and liked my work ethic, liked the energy that I was putting in through and doing with the interviews and stuff. He thought I was really good behind camera and thought I could help others. I was already trying to help others and reviewing their videos. And while reviewing other people's videos, I was able to learn more about my own self and how I speak to camera and what to do, what not to do, and all these other things. As we talk about it a lot, you learn from other people's mistakes all the time.
Hmm.
And moving forward, we went through and we just kind of discussing about other things. And he really enjoyed what I had to say, what I was about, my mentality, my energy, the time and effort I dedicate inside the UGC campus, which is endless. And then as well as just my work ethic in general. And we went through, we discussed, and now here I am.
Interesting. Okay. So I mean, again, a lot of impact that the real world has had on your life because all these
Absolutely.
things, I mean, you'd relate to the real world, correct?
Absolutely. 100%.
Hmm.
We have,
Crazy.
we talk about mindset on our last talk, and that is huge in anything that you do, let alone just getting work done and being successful. A lot of people, they think about all these things, but they don't even put enough time, energy, and effort into something to even be successful. It gets a little bit hard and then you quit. All you have to do is put in just that little bit more and you will ultimately be successful in anything you do. But 9 times out of 10, people sit here and say, oh, it's a little bit hard now, I don't want to do this anymore, and they quit. So they never even know what success is. They don't even know what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing that I love about myself is no matter what, I might fail 10 more times, but I will go until I succeed.
Right. And was that since joining the military that you got that mindset, or was it always there?
That was kind of always ingrained into me. The military added to that, and the real world extremely added to that. They put the realization on it. I always had that in the back of my head, and I didn't really understand what it was or why I was like that. And then within the real world, I was talking to Luke and Professor Ayush and all these other professors that have made it and are still making it. And they kind of put it into perspective of what it actually is and how to effectively apply it to our life to where now you can actually do something with it. It's not just a bunch of other things that you're doing. You can actually take a skill, focus on that skill, put the time, energy, and effort in. And if you fail, okay. But failure is necessary for success. I've never met anyone successful that hasn't failed 10 times before. It's about doing it that 11th time, doing it that 12th time. If you fail 20 times, you need to do it 21 times because that 21 time will be the time that you do it successfully.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So a bit of a change in topic. Why did you decide to go further into the security sector?
Ooh, it is one of my things that I am naturally good at. Security has always been huge to me. I grew up in a world where it was a small town and you kind of had to protect yourself. You had to have your wits about you. You had to understand who everybody was and read the body language to understand their intentions because, for lack of better words, it was a meth head country. Basically, you had a bunch of druggies around you all the time and you just needed to be aware of yourself. And then when I joined the military and all these other things, I understand the aspect of security is not just physical security. It's not just being safe all the time, which is a huge aspect of it. But security also goes into security of yourself, security of others, security of property, and as well as the moving parts within all of that, logistically speaking. And then you go into the finance portion of security. Like your security can fail because you didn't pay someone correctly, right? Or your security can fail because you had an asset that didn't deliver on what they said we would do, or your security can fail because you had a product that wasn't made exactly how it was supposed to be made. There's so many aspects of security that a lot of people don't really dive into, and that's what I love. And working in the security realm that I am now on the civilian side, I can see just how different it is from the military and understand the institutionalization of the military just really affects how you think about things. It's not just about do what you say at all times, rank structure, you don't get paid enough for that, all this other stuff. In the civilian world, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. You curate your own reality and you make it how you want to do it. If you want to go into the security realm, you have to be the hardest worker in the room. You have to put in the hours. You have to have the integrity that people can rely on you at all times. You have to show up. You have to be early. You have to do all these things and just basically being your best person and being the best individual that you can be, and you'll get noticed. And that transfers over to the real world as well as everything else in life.
Right. So what you're basically saying is you need to have unmatched perspicacity.
Weird. Funny how that works.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just a quick joke there. Now, on a personal level, what you were saying about security, I mean, I'd like to give a bit of my own input there, see what you think. So, I mean, whenever I'm, let's say, walking in a public place, I'm always observing people around me, again, looking around, observing, then sitting down somewhere also. Let's say I'm speaking to someone who's in front of me. If I see a slight movement in the corner of my eyes quickly dot there just to quickly evaluate and then go back to the person.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something that happens with you as well, considering your field? And I mean, what would be the breakdown there?
All the time. So we can consciously train our brains to kind of use our peripheral visions in order to evaluate, right? So we see past 180 degrees. We don't just see here. We see back about here, right? I can't remember the exact degree point, but that's how much we actually see. And our train, as a human, we are trained to pick up movement. We're trained to pick up things that aren't supposed to happen correctly, right? That's why we're able to read and make connections with people. So as I'm sitting in, say, a restaurant or something like that, I'm having a conversation with you sitting across from you, and there's all these other things happening. At the same time, I'm talking to you. I'm using my ears, but I'm also just focusing on you and using my peripherals to gauge distance in that type of activity. Because I'm at that point, I'm worried about our conversation. So I'm worried about my personal security as well as your personal security, because that's how I feel. So as we move forward, if I see someone get closer and closer into my field of view, yes, that glance of view, quick evaluation. Are there any weapons on him? What's his body language? Does he look aggressive? Is he walking slow? Is he walking fast? Is he looking directly at us? Is he looking at something else? What's his focus? All these other things, but they just happen at the same time. And to me, they happen naturally. There's a lot more that goes into it that I can't even begin to explain because it just happens. Mm-hmm. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting that, I mean, we see the world that way because just observing other people, they seem quite oblivious to those things, which
absolutely
isn't ideal.
I mean, how many times, I don't know in your city where you live at, but walking down the street, how many people are just walking with headphones in or just walking, just staring down at a phone, not knowing what's going on about them? They're such an easy target, right? And there was actually a study done. I can't remember where I saw this, but there's an actual study done by the FBI, and they interviewed criminals and what they do and all these other things, and they showed them pictures
of who they would attack.
Of who they would attack and who they wouldn't attack. And they said the people that looked dressed well, were attentive, and saw that what was going on around them, they wouldn't go for them. They would prey on the weak. That's exactly what happens in real life. Like that's literal facts. And that's what happens everywhere, is if you look like a target, you will become a target. It's simple. It can be as simple as lifting your head up and looking where you're walking, or just having body language to where you're standing or sitting straight up, or you're walking with a purpose. You're doing everything you do with a purpose. That's the one thing the military taught me that I absolutely love, is everything I do is with an absolute purpose. I'm not doing all these wasted movements. I'm not, talking and doing all these useless words. Everything is with a purpose that I truly believe will either help me or help someone else.
How was the experience with the Sartorial interview? Because, I mean, even personally, just thinking about it, that seems like such an insane thing. Like getting interviewed by Sartorial, wow.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a professional and expert in the field of security. I can't think of anyone more expert and professional in their realm besides Sartorial Shooter. His experience and vast amount of knowledge is just unmatched. Like, you can't compare him to anybody. The amount of companies that he's worked with, the amount of high value clients that he's had, the experience that he's had within the military side as well as the civilian side is just unreal. And while we were speaking with him, I was trying to do what I do with everybody else and read the body language and all these other things. And he is an absolute professional at gauging his own reactions. He's completely self-aware in what he does and how he says things, using his emotions to say certain things and get it across. And it was really cool to see that and learn that from a professional, and try to just emulate some of that and take that for my own, to kind of steal that value a little bit, steal that high energy that we talked about. And he operates on such a different frequency than 90%, I would say 99% of the world. And, we touched on it earlier about us being the rare breed, and we truly are, because when you operate on that high frequency, like Sartorial and I talked about, you don't really fit in the world anymore. And he really helped me understand that. And even after the interview, we've talked more. He's kept in touch. He has been able to teach me and guide me on certain things, and help me within the war room, and help me within the brothers of my community and all these other things. And it's truly unreal to have someone like that in my corner. It's absolutely wonderful.
And how crazy is it that the world says these are bad guys? The Tate, Sartorial, they're all bad guys. Like,
it's insane. I can't understand it. The amount of positive value. I mean, go on your channel and how many positive wins that we've had and all these other things. And then you have hundreds of thousands of win receipts that we see every single day within the real world, of people just winning and, getting their health right, retiring their families, getting wins, moving out of their homes, buying all these other things. It's endless, but yet it's a scam.
Yeah, and for $50 at that. Very elaborate scam, huh?
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I said, and I'll say it again, like I said, I've said this to people all the time. You spend $50 on a night drinking, or going out partying, or going to get a luxurious meal by yourself or on a video game or a toy or shit you just don't need. Spend $50, get value, get something that'll teach you a skill that'll last the rest of your entire life. Not just this quick dopamine hit. It's the same thing that you're doing when you scroll through social media all day long. Get these endless receipts and wins and be on that top list.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very nice. Very great answer. So going back to the UGC campus now, why did you decide to get involved with that? Was it just a natural process, or is there anything to add there?
Somewhat. Going through, like I said earlier in the interviews, and then going through the personal branding as well as influential speaking campuses with Luke, and then just moving forward into it. It just kind of naturally progressed into that. But it's also something that I wanted to learn. It's another skill stack that I can add, right? You know, as we evolve through life, as a man, we gain value by the amount of skills and value that we add to others. So the more skills that I have in my life, the better I am as a man, and the more valuable I am to people that I want to be in the circle with, right? So as I'm going through, I'm also learning UGC. I'm learning stocks. Once I get through UGC, which will never be ending, because that's an easy way to make money. You learn how to talk to camera about a product. You go and approach this person. You send them a quick email saying, hey, I like your product. I want to do advertisements for you. You send a little bit of saying, hey, this is what I can do. And then boom, if they want it, you got it. If they don't, then you don't, then you move on. But you talk about how many companies there are in the world, and how many advertisements do you see on TV where it's just the big names and all these other things. Now imagine, because TV is kind of dying out, everybody's on YouTube, everybody's on TikTok, everybody's on Instagram. So you need these quick 30-second, 15-second ads in order to market to today's world, especially today's youth. That's how they do stuff. Back in the day, they used to do it on newspapers and in the ads section of newspapers. And now, they used to do it back in the ad sections of newspapers, and then it progressed to TV ads. And now we're making another shift and change in dynamic, and we're moving towards the social media platforms, and they're going to be quick spurts. It's not going to be, you don't have to have this quick, elaborate, full story. You just need to get that attention economy and get that attention of that person just enough to click on that link and then let the product do its job.
So how much demand is there actually from companies looking for people like that to hire?
If you go on to like Amazon or any type of e-com stores or anything like that, there's a huge demand for that. Because if you think about e-com and drop shipping and all this stuff, it's people just like you and me that have just started this company, and they don't even really have a company. They're just buying products and selling it to people. But if you look at what they're selling, you can actually do a product review for that individual person on that Amazon store, on that Shopify store or eBay or whatever you want to be. And then you can plug them and then use their link directing the traffic to them. So it's not just the store, it's not just the product, but it's where you buy that product.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, a very innovative idea. I mean, I didn't even realize that was a thing. And only yesterday, really, I started going through the UGC campus. I went into an AMA Nicholas was doing, and then I really understood what is going on. He's an absolute
G.
Yeah,
he's an absolute G.
I was listening to him for 80 minutes straight.
Yep.
Loved it. Okay, so yeah, it's very interesting to see all the opportunities, all the potential ways of making money that are out there, and then the real world teaching you how to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
And that's just me and one person, right? It's been a few months since we last did our interview, and this is how much.
Probably 4 months, I'd say.
Yeah, and this is how much has changed in 4 months. So that's just me within the real world. Imagine coming in and having everything to start again. With the knowledge that I have now, I'd be unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. And again, we'll do a part 3 at one point to see.
Oh yeah, man.
Imagine
I absolutely look forward to it. That sounds. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy it. It's weird to talk about yourself. It really is. But I understand that talking about myself allows others to understand what is possible, and understand that people really need to really just get in gear and understand and see what's out there We understand the real world is a thing. We understand that the portal is open, but a lot of people don't understand just what you can actually do inside of it and how many possibilities there are to win and escape the matrix. And it's there for the taking. They just have to take that. They just have to take it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll give my perspective on something. Let me know if it's the same with you or different. So when you say it's weird to talk about yourself, I find that to be the case because I just prefer listening to other people's stories because you learn so much more and it's just interesting to hear their unique experiences. So I don't really feel like talking about myself. Like, yeah, that's my perspective on it. Why do you feel it's weird to do so?
It's weird to talk about yourself because, so we talk about learning your place in the world. Okay. And when you learn your place in the world, you have to go through these changes to where you have to understand what your purpose is in life. And for me, my purpose 100% is to just change people's lives. Every person that I meet every day, I try to make a positive impact on them some way or somehow, whether it's as simple as asking how your day was, or whether it's paying for their meal, or whether it's helping them out in a struggle that they're having in their mindset. That to me gives me absolute joy versus anything else that I've ever done. And then winning with them and then seeing them progress because they did take your advice and they're actually making wins and they're actually doing better in their mindset. I love that. Circling back to why it's weird for me to talk about myself is because I like giving value to other people. I don't like taking value from myself and giving it to them. I want to build them up. I don't want them to build themselves up because of me. But I realize now that is essential for people to actually take the advice and do it. And I learned that from Andrew Tate. And we talk about social proof all the time, is we talk about he is an absolute master orator. And then he has these endless receipts and endless wins. And he's been through the ringer. He's had that experience. And people like that. They want to see basically what is your authority on speaking. And for people to take value from me, I have to give value about myself first. Does that make sense?
Yes, and a very great answer. Thank you. So, okay, now you're learning new skills, trying to improve yourself in, every area of life. So, currently you have income going well, skill building going well. What other areas are you focusing on, working on?
So there's 3 areas that I really focus on my life. It's my fitness, my money, and my relationships. And when we go through, we want to understand that relationship is not just a relationship with your significant other or someone that you're trying to woo. A relationship is everything that you do every day. Whether you're networking, everything that you do every day is somewhat of an audition. You're being interviewed every single day by the people that you talk to. So can you make an impact on that person every single day and then create a relationship with them in order to have everybody kind of there for you? But you have to give that value to get that value at the same time. And then my fitness every day, obviously I'm going to the gym constantly, or if I can't make it to the gym because it's a trek, and then I'll do push-ups and sit-ups and squats in my office, right? I get sidetracked a lot when I'm working throughout the day. And if I find myself getting sidetracked, I'll drop down, do some push-ups, or I'll drop down, do some sit-ups, or whatever else. I just have to do something at all times. And then what that does is that just kind of brings me back to the workspace, because a lot of people that we live in an attention economy, we have that ADHD mentality. And when you get distracted, you tend to go down that rabbit hole. But if you consciously catch yourself going down that rabbit hole, you're able to absolutely skew your mind and just do some push-ups. That way you stop thinking about that rabbit hole and then you go back with a fresh mind of what you're doing, and then you continue your work. It's almost a soft reset, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then, finances, obviously, always money is freedom, and freedom is the goal at the end of the day. Because the more freedom you have, the more people you can help, the more people you can impact, and the better you'll be as a person as well.
All right. Once again, a great answer, Seth. Love listening to you speaking. A lot of wisdom at this point. Even now, you're saying, obviously you're still saying you want to improve everything, but even at this point, it's already clear just how much work you've put into yourself and improved. And yeah, it's great to experience.
I did a little self-reflection with Professor Ayush, because he was the one that originally, he was the first person I really actually talked to, the first professor I talked to in the real world. And I did a little self-reflection with him, like, why, I asked him why did you make me a captain? Why did you recommend me for an interview? And all these other things, because I wanted to know more about myself, and whether it was because of my mindset, my energy. He said, because no matter what, you always got it done. And that to me is one of the best compliments that I could ever say, because I'm truly living that sayer mind frame. I'm truly living that. And that is a testimonial to that. It's kind of it's a very good feeling to understand that I'm not just trying to do this. People are recognizing that I'm doing this. And it's a great, it really is a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, a man of your word, as they say.
Absolutely. That sayer mind frame.
Okay. So now I'm interested, how has your average day changed now compared to 4 months ago when we did that interview?
What is sleep? And I don't mean that as a fact that I don't sleep, because I do sleep. But it's one of those things that I actually spoke about this earlier in the UGC campus. We talk about daily task lists, daily goals. So I have a daily task list right now, and I have 13 items on it today. First one was the gym, and then check my emails, and then the third one was talking to you, right? So, and then we have all these other aspects. While we sit and do these daily task lists, I do not sleep. I do not allow myself to sleep until everything on that task list is done. Every single day. Every single day I lay my head down and I feel accomplished. I did something throughout the day. If one of those things on that task list do not get done, I cannot sleep. Yeah, my body won't allow myself to go to sleep. And I'll just sit there staring at the fan. And there's sometimes that I get tired and all these other things. And, black coffee, Red Bull. I have to get it done. I'm at the point in my life, and I think a lot of people that join, especially within the real world, you want that freedom. So if you really truly want that freedom, then you cannot sleep. You need sleep, yes, but there are some things that you're just going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice going out with the friends. You're going to sacrifice going out to doing all these other things. You're going to have to sacrifice, the luxurious dinners, or even going out whatever time. You're going to have to worry about eating ramen for a little bit, or Easy Mac, or whatever you want to do. You have to make these sacrifices in order to succeed. And when I started doing that 4 months ago, I now see the seeds have grown. I planted the seeds 4 months ago, and now I've watered them with all the hard work. I've given them fertilizer. I've given them care with all this hard work, time, and energy that I'm putting in. And now they are starting to flourish and grow. Mm-hmm. Now, how much they grow, that's endless. It's just depending on how much time, energy, effort I put into it. The more and more I do that, the more and more that they're going to grow. And then you also see that you might have planted one seed, but that one seed then went to another tree, which planted a bigger tree, which made bigger roots, which made you able to grow bigger. It's a thing that we talk about all the time. It's called compounding interest. You have these little wins in the beginning, and then you get a bigger win, and then a bigger win, and then a bigger win, and then a bigger win. It never ends. The more work and time and effort and energy that you put into something, the more compounding interest you'll have, and the bigger your wins will get.
Mm-hmm. So since you're doing all of this now, where do you see your life heading in, let's say, another 6 months to 1 year?
I'll give you the same answer as I did before. We talk about when a stock goes up, it's mooning. And that's where I see myself, going to the moon. I don't have limits on where I can go and what I can do. There's a lot of things that I don't even know I can do yet. I'm consistently learning about myself and learning what to do. So every day that I'm in the real world, or talking to you or other people, I have another opportunity that pops up. And do I have the time management skills to be able to add that to my task list and get it done to the best of my ability without affecting the other quality that I already have established? Right? It's a little bit about knowing yourself and juggling those things. And now I'm at that point, and I understand now that I have to say no to things. Certain things I have to say no to because I genuinely don't have the time to commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
But that took work. When I first started, I was saying yes to everything. You need that done? I got you. You need that done? Absolutely, 100%. It's done. The next day, 100% done. But now it's to the point where I have to dedicate a certain amount of time to certain things in order for them to be the highest quality possible. For example, my analysis within the stocks. I have to dedicate a certain amount of time to that watch list in order to make sure that I'm doing it properly and I'm not just skimming over it and then I get a bias within my mindset and I just stick with that bias. I have to look at it with a neutral bias and understand what the actual charts are telling me. That takes a certain amount of time that I have to do. But then there's other things like listening to an audiobook that can be implemented while doing other things. That can be implemented while I'm in the gym or while I'm driving to other places or while I'm doing all these other things. You can combine these things and kind of manage your time that way. But you have to understand that there's certain things that you can only say that you have to say no to now. At least for me, where I'm at.
Right. And just something I want to say, just as a note, you are a very pure soul, Seth.
I appreciate that. Genuinely.
I look forward to meeting you one day in person.
Oh, we will. I promise you that.
Yeah. I'm sure we will indeed.
I've told Sartorial multiple times I can't wait to shake his hand.
Yep. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to that day when we meet each other in person as well.
Absolutely, brother.
Now, for my final question. So for people who are still unsure about joining the real world, maybe this whole story you just told me is made up and everything is a scam for those $50. What advice would you have to them?
Where's your proof? That's what I would ask them. Where's your proof that it's a scam? You talk about it, it's a scam and this whole thing is made up. If you really think that, then just join. It's $50 for 1 month. Figure it out. And I guarantee, actually, if you get in and it's a scam, contact me. Contact me directly and we can have a conversation. A straight up conversation on why you think it's a scam. And then we can actually go through. Because if you truly go in and you think this is a scam, there's either a problem with how you're doing it, you're not putting in the time, energy, and effort, or you're just lazy and you're looking for a hit piece. So if you truly think that this is a scam, join, go through it, and if you still think it's a scam after your first month, feel free to contact me and we can have a conversation as to why. And that's not a threat. I genuinely want to know why you think it's a scam because I'm proof. I'm very well proof. I can give you receipts of my wins that I've learned within the stocks campus. I can go through the wins channel of people winning every single day, whether it be freelancing, whether it be copywriting, whether it be UGC, whether it be stocks, whether it be crypto. The 18 different methods that these millionaire professors are teaching you out of their time because they want you to win too. But you're sitting here and saying it's a scam. And to me, if you still right now at this point in time say that it's a scam, it's because you're scared to take action. You're 100% sitting there thinking all these other things and you're scared to just take action. You're a thinker, not a doer. Thinkers don't win. Action people win. Doers win.
Great point. I mean, yeah, raw action of everything. So speaking of contacting you as well, where can people find out more or if they want, contact you?
So first off, you can contact me within the real world as always. Username is Seth H. That's it. I'm the UGC circuit breaker. Then you can contact me on YouTube. I have a couple of videos about mindset and motivation, as well as a little bit of how Andrew Tate has helped me, how the real world has helped me. It's a little bit more background of my Army life and doing all this other stuff. And that's YouTube, Disciple of Wudang. You can do that. And then I actually don't even have any other real socials.
Okay.
Besides LinkedIn. So if you're a professional looking for a partnership, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn at Seth Heichman.
Got it. So, Seth, again, thank you very much for your time. I mean, those 35 minutes or so just flew by.
Wow. Time flies.
And I look forward to that next conversation. All the best to you until then.
Which will be in person.
Or, I mean, if not, then in person, definitely at some point. But if it's not in person yet, by our third follow-up, then, I mean, still see you then as well.
Absolutely, sir. Pleasure.